52. No, I've fooled everybody here. I guess they did. It's not 98 or 52. It's in between 86%. 86% of people said, again, the obvious, drowsiness or dizziness.
Is that 86% always adverse? Or is it just a general percentage?
No, they consider drowsiness and dizziness to be an adverse side effect.
You know what? I disagree with that adverse effect.
Statistics are a really easy thing to argue as well, but this is, again, something reported recently in the newspaper, which I consider to be fair game. But again, just because you read it in the Times columnist doesn't mean it's true, I'll tell you that. So I have a bit of a history question here for our third question, which is a bit of a fun one here. As reported in July 1970, I forget the name of the paper, I don't want to even open it for fear of someone seeing it, but in July 1970, who smoked pot on the front of Buckingham Palace before meeting the Queen?
I did. No.
If you know in the crowd, please keep it to yourself, or if you smoked pot with the Queen or before you met the Queen back then, please keep it to yourself as well. If you know the answer, challenge yourself against both teams, but there's a lot at stake here. Not just prizes tonight, but the winner tonight gets on the next game, and the winning team next week gets personalized trophy bongs. Each person will get a bong that says Champs, Reach for the Pot 2008, and their name on the bong. And so, who do you guys think smoked pot at Buckingham Palace before meeting the Queen? John Lennon. It was John Lennon and the Beatles. John Lennon and the Beatles. Yeah, there's an article about it in The Emperor Wears No Clothes. Let me see. It must be true. It was in the National Enquirer. It must be true. But again, it's out of The Emperor Wears No Clothes, and I think it was reported in other places as well. It was something obviously known about. So there it is, 20 more points for Peanuts Crew. But, still lots of points left.
I'm sorry, Peanut, I'm not here.
So tonight's fourth question is another one of these personality questions I love to come up with, where I will give you the name of someone, and in this case, you got to tell me who they work for. Who does Miriam Burke work for? What organization or institution? Miriam Burke. Any of you guys remember reading that name before or hearing about that person? And for me, this is a particularly fun challenge because Steve at least spends hours a week surfing the internet, reading stories. He's heard of Miriam Burke. And see, Tim, who's Miriam Burke? Who does Miriam work for? End Prohibition or the NDP? No, she does not work for either End Prohibition or the NDP. No, sorry, you didn't quite get it there, but what's your guess? Okay, you know what? He said that she works for the Senate, where you send letters for Bill C-26. It's mostly correct to the point where I'm going to accept it. She works for the Justice Department, the Department of Justice, but that is where you send the letters here. In fact, if you've not heard of Bill C-26, it's the scariest set of cannabis laws to come in effect for a very long time. They want to have mandatory minimum sentences for cannabis growers and send them in jail for at least 6 months for growing as few as one plant if it was possibly for sale. And so the mandatory minimums go up from there. They're really scary. The way that we can stop them, though, and I got this actually from a senator, which is why you might even be confused, because Senator Pierre-Claude Nolan told me that the way we can stop this bill is by requesting this committee that Miriam Burke's in charge of to do studies on the effects of mandatory minimum sentences on the drug industry or drug offenses. Because the studies that have been done here and in the United States prove they're not effective. And by getting the committee to do the study, they have to basically put the bill aside until the study's been done, which takes a very long time. And then the study comes back and it proves that what they want to do is not effective either in terms of cost or deterring people from breaking this law. And so we want to get the studies done both to prove that these type of laws, mandatory minimum sentences, are completely the wrong way to go. If you look at the United States, I think 1 out of 100 people in the United States are in jail right now. That's how bad it is. And they have mandatory minimum sentences. Like, it's sort of, they're the most incarcerated population in the world. And Miriam Burke has the power to stop it. And we need to get her to listen to us. And you guys picked up 25 points off that. So you're in the game. The hemp won. So,
Can I add something to that?
So,
Can I add something to that?
I'm really in the middle of the game now. Sorry. So tonight's next question is the what does not belong question, where each week I will give you a list of like 8 things, and you guys have to tell me which one of these 8 things does not belong. So here we go. And what I used tonight, I just love this one, I've never thought of this one before, was the Canna Bible. I've written down 7 different strains that are real, that are in this book. One of these strains I've completely made up. So, let's see. Yeah, they're all made up, but one of these is mine. And I make up strain names all the time, it's kind of fun. But usually they're not kind of like these. But let's see if you guys can figure out which one does not belong. We got Stun Gun, Bull Rider, Hog's Breath, Cat Piss, Bizarre, Stretch, Mean Green, and Chronic. Which one of these strains is something I made up? The other 7 come out of the Canna Bible. Again, if you think you know in the crowd or do know, please just keep it to yourself. There's 20 fat points on the line here. And Sue's gonna take it. She clapped. Let's go. Give it up, girl. You clap. Hog's Breath. No, I'm afraid Hog's Breath is real. Tim was clapping just there. He may have been happy, but that was a clap, Tim. What do you think? Pardon? Stretch. No, Stretch is a real strain. So it's worth 10 points now, folks. We're down to 6. And those 6 strains are Stun Gun, Bull Rider, Cat Piss, Bizarre, Mean Green, or Chronic. 5 of those are real, 1 isn't. What do you think?
I'm gonna drink it.
Cat Piss, no, they sell it. Yeah, I've actually sold it, you could say, at the Buyers Club, but I've changed the name. I will not use that name. It's okay, bud, but you will not find Cat Piss at the Cannabis Buyers Club in that way. So, are you guys clapping? There's 5 names left. It's 10 points. Okay, Tim, what's your guess? No, Bull something, but Bull Rider is in there, so that's gone too. So it's worth 5 points now, folks. Make sure your team agrees. The 4 options are, let me think here, Stun Gun, Bizarre, Mean Green, and Chronic. So take our leader's guess here first. What's your guys' guess over here? Bizarre. No, I'm fooling everybody. It's not Bizarre. It's not Chronic. It's Stun Gun. I think it's a kind of fun name, but again, we won't call anything at our club guns, sort of. There's this AK-47 and all this other stuff. But Stun Gun is not a real strain, and it wasn't worth any points either, so you'll never hear of Stun Gun again as far as I'm concerned. So I'm really hoping that someone else has helped me organize this next part here. Are you ready for this contest?